What's up? We got Legend of Tomorrow, Season 2, Episode 3, Shogun. So we start on the way where we see the gang doing stuff, but that's when Vixen attacks Mick. And Vixen starts saying about, you killed him, and he's like, who did I kill again? And yeah, but then she's stopped by Nate, who reveals himself to be Steel now, and even Mick's like, what happened to you? And he's like, have no idea. So yeah, so it seems like Ray's serum that he injected into Nate to save his life gave Nate some sort of steel ability to turn himself into living steel. So yeah, so they capture Maya, and Sarah's like, hey, why'd you try to kill Mick? And he's like, because Rex Tyler's dead. And he's like, you meant, because Rex is dead. And she's like, you mean Rex Tyler? And he's like, Mick killed him. And he's like, well, Mick has been on the ship the whole time. How do you know that? And he's like, because the last words he said to me were time traveler. And obviously, you're the only gang of time travelers I know. So obviously, put two and two together and thought you guys did it. So yeah. So she's like, well, Mick has been on the ship since we dropped you guys off in the 40s. So how could he have killed Mick? How could he have killed Rex and just came back without knowing? So yeah. So she's like, you can do anything, Maya, as long as you try not to kill Mick. And she's like, okay, I'll join your team as long as I don't try to kill your friend. So unfortunately, so now Maya is on the team. So yeah. So there's some Maya is like doesn't know like random things, like she doesn't know what an AI is or what time travel. She knows what time travel is, but she doesn't know what an AI is, so they have to explain to her. And they're like, we've been tracking a time traveler who's been messing with history, trying to change history, and that same person could lead us to the person who killed Rex. So yeah, so yeah, so let me see Nate. So let me see the team talking, and they're like, hey, Ray, please train Nate. And he's like, I made you in some sort of steel, and Mick's like, steel. I like that. He's like, since his grandfather was Citizen Steel, what should he call himself? Steel? Captain? His grandfather was Captain Steel, so should he be Steel, Citizen Steel? Yeah, Judge Steel. He doesn't say Judge, but, you know, Judge Steel. So, yeah. So, yeah, but then they're playing with but then they accidentally open up the time ship, and Ray and Nate falls through it, and Ray tries to follow him through the time stream, and that's when Nate falls through the sky, just like Pokemon Legends Arceus, and falls into Japan in the 1600s. Wow. Yeah. And so yeah. So he's met by so then we see Ray fall through, and he takes one of the pills, but he's to speak Japanese, but he still speaks English, and I don't get that. He's like, ooh, this, and he's like, sorry, I forgot to take this, and just doesn't speak Japanese at all. He only speaks English. So yeah, so they kidnap him, and he's like, where did you get your armor? And he's like, well, I made it. And he's like, give me your armor. And he's like, yeah, no, it only works for me. And he's like, well, then I'll just take it from you. So yeah, then Nate fell through the sky. He met some girl who basically, I think that these are the descendants of the Yamashiros, Tatsu and Masao, I think. So exactly, yeah. So she's meant to marry the shogun, but she doesn't want to. Basically, it's basically the classic. Oh, the character. It's back to those years where you couldn't marry anyone you want, so you're forced to wed by some rule, and so yeah. But she doesn't want to marry that guy. So yeah. So yeah. So while that's happening, we see Mick, Amaya, and Sarah. And Amaya doesn't believe in ninjas, but Mick's like, he likes ninjas, and Amaya's like, oh, ninjas aren't real. And Sarah's like, yeah, they are. I am a ninja, Amaya. Basically, because League of Assassins are kind of ninjas because they're they basically took the League of Shadows from Batman Begin and mix it with League of Assassins, and yeah. But are the League of Assassins basically the League of Shadows, but they didn't want to use the League of Shadows? But they want to use the League of Assassins? Is that how it works? Yeah. Is that how that works? So, yeah. So anyway, then we, yeah. So, like the shogun guy shows up in Ray's armor. But they're like, the only way for them to stop the Shogun is to destroy Ray's armor. And Ray's like, no, we can't do that without his armor. He's the only that without his armor, he's not a superhero. But I'm just like, Ray, can't you rebuild it? It's not like you're not a superhero if you don't have this armor. So it's not like you're not a superhero if you don't have the armor. So without the armor, can't you rebuild it? So yeah. So, yeah. So yeah, but the Shogun has a tendency of murdering his wives. So if they marry, so that's why he wants to protect the girl, because the Shogun might murder her. So, which is kind of dark. The show just got dark. So anyway, yeah. So yeah, so as he's about to attack that lady that Nate met, I forget her name. Nate shows up and he's Steel, and he's like, "Hey, haven't the name's Steel?" And beats him up. And Nate only has one more choice. It is so Ray meets with the grandfather of the lady, and he basically says that his son was that he had a son, but he had a son, and he liked his son's armor, but everyone liked his son, but the Shogun didn't like his son. So in a battle, he forced his son to the Japanese word of killing himself, and he's like, Ray, would you rather? He's like, He's like, hey grandfather, guy. I forget his name also, but he's like, hey, what would you rather have, your son or your son's armor? And he's like, I would like to have my son. So that basically inspires Ray to go out there and he's basically like, and so they destroy. So Nate destroys the Atom suit. Basically, instead of the suit blowing up, it basically just blows up the Shogun as well. So that guy dead. He just blew him up. Nate destroyed the suit and just blew him up. So yeah, there's also a scene where Mick is attacked by ninjas, and he's like, I don't want to hurt you ninjas. I like ninjas. But the ninjas try to attack him, but so he's forced to attack ninjas. So Ray could just rebuild his suit. So yeah. So now let's talk about the Professor Stein. So Professor Stein and Jack discover like there's another compartment in the Wave Rider full of a weapon armory that Rip kept from them. But you know what they also discover? A message from future Barry Allen, where Barry's like keep this thing from them. We don't find out what the rest of the thing future Barry says. So yeah, so then Maya's like, hey, here, and he's like, are you gonna try to kill him again? And she's like, no, proof that here's the proof that you met a real ninja, and shows him a ninja shuriken. So yeah, so yeah, we want to save the timeline, but we also want to destroy that. We're also gonna destroy that killed Rex to end the episode. So I thought this episode was pretty good. It's pretty good seeing Nate kind of become like a Steel, Steel, and kind of become Steel, kind of become Steel. And it was cool that, Amaya is now officially on the team until they officially track Rex's killer. And I think she's going to go back off and join the League. Unless the League of Assassins. Join the JSA. I almost said League of Assassins. Or I said League of JSA. I have no idea what I was going to say. But anyway, that's it for this video. And I'll see you next time for more Legends of Tomorrow. Bam, 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 wow. Bam, wow, 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 wow. Bam, 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 wow. Yeah, that's meant to be Vixen, and this is meant to be Steel. I have no idea. But anyway. But see you next time.